Hi everyone, my name is Clea Allen and welcome to my YouTube channel. It's been a long time since I posted on this YouTube channel. I posted like here and there things from like the school year and but I haven't like made a video since I was like young. Going back to my what's in my backpack video, and sorry for the glare. It's from my light up there, but I just wanted to sit and kind of give an update about my life. I am turning 22 in 3 days. It's almost midnight, so it'll be 2 days. And I'm just like reflecting on my life and how far I've come. I have had one tough of the last few years. I am technically a super senior, if you will, here at Vincennes University. I'm majoring in elementary education and special education, and it has taken me now 5 years to finally get into the education program. I should have already graduated. All of my friends from high school have graduated college, and I should have been in with them. But math has significantly held me back, and my GPA has held me back. And I've just, I've been on academic probation for a long time, just because of like, not necessarily, my GPA, but the credits that I've taken, because I've taken a lot of credits. But I finally am at a 2.7 GPA when I originally had a 2.2, and now I'm at a 2.7, and so I'm literally close to a 3.0, and I couldn't be more proud of myself. Last summer was really rough for me. I originally live in Indianapolis, but I am obviously down here in Vincennes and made the decision to stay over the summer, now twice, because I felt like it would be a better environment for me to be here, because I'm taking summer classes and I was able to work, and I have my own space here. This is my bedroom, as you can see. So I have my own space here, and at home I don't necessarily have those things, and so it would be better for me to just be here. Well, I was struggling mentally last year, like so significantly that I failed all my classes, which is very unlike me. And if I'm being completely honest and vulnerable, I at one point wanted to drop out of school and I walked out. I was in tears, sobbing, and I was just like, man, it would be like fine to me if I got hit by a car right now, if I got kidnapped, or just like it would be okay too if I died right now. Because I was just in such a negative place, and I was in therapy, but therapy was not helping. And I worked, like I had a full-time job over the summer, and I was taking summer classes that were not going well. And so I was just in a really negative spot. But I got my act together during the fall of the semester, because I knew that I wanted to get into the education program, and being a teacher is one of my longtime goals. I've wanted to be a teacher for my entire life. You could ask anyone. Ever since I was in like pre-K, I would always be with the babies, and I would always be acting like a teacher, and you could ask me from that age what I wanted to be when I grew up, and I would always say a teacher. So I knew that I needed to get my act together, because those kids are waiting for me. Those future children of mine are going to someday look up to me and say that I'm their favorite teacher, and I want that really bad. And it was I also knew not to give up from I took this class called Initial Experiences, and Initial Experiences is when you get to go out into the classroom and you get to observe and you get to do like a lesson plan and stuff like that. And so I got the fortunate opportunity to meet my amazing mentor teacher, Shelby Quarterman, and I have nothing mean to say about her. Shelby was literally the most important person in my life at that time, and if I didn't take that class when I did, I would have dropped out. Those kids and my mentor teacher, it like makes me want to cry, but those kids and my mentor teacher were the reason why I decided not to give up, and I decided to keep going back to school and everything. So I thank Shelby Quarterman for everything she did for me, and she will forever be a part of my story. I'm saying a lot. When I'm deep in thought, I say I experienced one of the worst things that I could have ever gone through. I lost my grandma 4 months ago, and we're coming up on 5 months, and it's been really hard living life without my grandma, because my grandma raised me, and my parents worked all the time and they were never there, and my grandma was always there for my sister and I. And so it was like I lost my mom in a way, because my grandma was, like I said, my grandma was always there for me, and I knew she was getting weaker and I knew she was gonna die, but I didn't think that it would be so soon. Like, I thought I had more time with her, and I just remember waking up and hearing that my grandma was unresponsive, and then not even a minute later being told she was gone. It was really hard for me to come back here and to focus on school and to stay strong, because my best friend is gone. And it's been one of the most difficult things to have to realize that, like, I don't get those phone calls anymore saying, "Hey sweetie, how you doing?" and "I miss you," and stuff like that. And like, my grandma used to call me on my birthday and tell me happy birthday and that she can't believe that I'm turning however old, and I don't get that phone call this year. And losing her has been one of the most difficult things I've ever had to go through. And so, but I knew that my grandma would have wanted me to stay strong, and so that's what I'm doing. I'm doing it for her, and I'm doing it for those future kids that I'm going to have in my classroom. And so I've had better grades than I've ever had before, and I actually care about my grades now, and I want to get into the education program, and I want to be done with school. Like, that is my biggest thing, is I'm sick and tired of school, and I want to be done. I want to be in my classroom. I want to have my own children. I want to have my own decorative classroom, and I just want to be done with school, because I'm already in thousands and thousands of dollars in debt that I'm going to be paying off for the rest of my life, because I don't have the financial stability that everyone else has. And I'm very fortunate enough to have student loans and FAFSA and stuff like that. And I wish I would have been taught more about student loans growing up, because now, like I said, I'm going to be in debt for the rest of my life. But I couldn't be more thankful for this opportunity to be here at school, because I have thrived so much. And I know that if I would have stayed in Indianapolis, I probably, if I'm being completely honest, I probably wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today, because I was not in a good place when I was in Indianapolis. And it's hard to go back home, because Indy just reminds me of everything I've ever lost. And my family is there, which is the only reason why I go back to Indy. But it's hard to go back there and realize you don't have friends, your grandma's gone, like, and you don't have a relationship with those people that you used to have a relationship with and everything. Like, I've became my own person here in Vincennes, and so it's very hard. A lot of people have asked me, are you going to go back home when you get your teaching job, or are you going to stay in here in Vincennes? And it's been really hard to think about, because I've always dreamed of teaching at my old alma mater, but if I were to stay here, I have a support system here now, and I have a life here now, but it's very hard because I'm homesick. I miss my family a lot, but I don't want to go home, if that makes sense. Like, I just do better here, but I miss my family. Like right now, everyone's gone for the summer, and so it's been really lonely, and yeah, I miss my family, and so it's really hard. I got glasses, so that's something new. I have always had 20/20 eye vision, but recently I've noticed that it's been hard to see things far away. Like, it was hard to see the board, and so I finally went to the eye doctor, and I was told that I had an astigmatism, and one of my eyes was worse than the other. Like, they had me do the little whole test thing where they covered an eye, and I had to read the letters, and there was at one point where he said, "Can you read the bottom letters?" And I said, "Nope." And he goes, "Can you try?" I said, "Nope." And so he's like, "Yeah, you definitely need glasses." And so it has been a blessing to have these glasses because I can see so much better now, and a lot of people have told me that they just look so natural. Like, I was talking to my psychiatrist the other day, and she was like, "I didn't even notice you had glasses because they just look so natural on your face." So I'm very thankful that I have glasses now. And speaking of the psychiatrist, I have not been to a doctor in over 4 years because I have really bad doctor anxiety. And so I finally started seeing a psychiatrist because I have had trouble sleeping my entire life. Like, I think it got worse once my parents split up. But I'm a super insomniac. Like, it is a rare occasion if I get more than 7 hours of sleep at night. Like, I have woke up in the middle of the night multiple times, and I can't sleep in anymore, and I am always exhausted. I have anemia, and my blood pressure is starting to rise again when it was good. And so I have a sleep study that I'm getting ready to do, which I'm going to document my experience with my sleep study. So I'm going to find out if I have sleep apnea or not, which I think I'm just an insomniac, but whatever. So there's just a lot going on with me. A lot of people were noticing that I wasn't this happy, smiley Kalia who, like, a lot of people noticed that I changed and stuff, and I eventually noticed it, but anyone would be going through the same thing that I would be going through if they just lost their best friend 4 months ago. So a lot of it had to do with grief, but a lot of it was just like, I am tired of being tired, if that makes sense. Like, I am emotionally and physically and mentally exhausted, like, just putting it plainly. I have suffered a great deal my entire life, and I'm not sitting here saying my life is worse than anybody else's, because a lot of people have been through a lot more bad stuff than me. But like, from childhood until now, I've been through a lot of stuff, and it's really been hard to unlearn things that you've gone through your entire life. Like, when times get hard, I shut down, because that's how I grew up. I couldn't talk to my parents about anything that I was going through, and so I shut down, and I still do that to this day. I stop talking when things upset me, and I have to process it, and then I'll start talking about it eventually. I was diagnosed with social anxiety disorder, which is funny to some people and funny to me in a way, because I can be a very social person. Like, when I'm comfortable around you, I show myself out, like, I am, like, I sing. I've sang my entire life. I sing in front of people. I love talking in front of people. Like, speech class was one of my favorite classes in middle school, or in high school, and in college. My college professor actually tried to get me to be a communications major because of how well I did in speech. And so when she said I had social anxiety disorder, it was kind of like weird, but then I realized, like, I have stopped doing the things that I've loved to do. I used to love to write and paint and make friendship bracelets and just do a lot of things, and I don't do that stuff anymore because I have a hard time focusing and a lot of things don't keep my attention anymore, which is sad. Now we're going to talk about just some things that I just wanted to bring to everyone's attention. So, like I said, I'm almost 22 years old, and I've never been in a relationship. I've been rejected twice by 2 different people, and I've never, been in a real relationship. And you come to the realization that you haven't gotten the chance to experience all that stuff that everyone else has gotten to experience. Like, you've never been on a date, you've never been kissed, you've never been asked to a school dance, you've never been able to experience the movie type relationships and stuff. And to some extent, like, when you see all of your friends getting married and having babies and stuff, it makes you realize, like, oh my gosh, I wish I had that. Like, I'm in my 20s now. I should be in a relationship and getting ready to be married. And, my biggest dream is to become a mom. And it's looking very unlikely. Like, I know there's, ways for me to become a mom, but, I want to experience having a partner, having a baby together, both of my child sharing both my DNA and my husband's DNA. FOMO is a big, giant thing in everyone's life. Fear of missing out sucks. But I've come to realize in these past few years that, I don't need a guy in my life to make me happy. I've learned that from people in my life who think they need a guy in their life at every waking moment. And you're bigger than that. You're bigger and better than a guy. I'm just putting it plainly right there. There is so much more to life than sitting here and crying in your bed because you don't have a boyfriend and you don't have a husband. I have it. I mean, everyone has to learn that eventually. Sometimes you have to realize that God may be calling you to singleness, and that's okay. That's okay to be single, because you have to work on loving yourself and loving God before you can work on loving someone else and letting someone else into your space. I have had to learn that I have to work on myself first, because if I don't know myself and I have a really bad relationship with myself, then I can't bring someone else into my space, because I will not be able to support myself as well as support that other person. So when you are sitting down and you're realizing that you are single and it sucks to be single, yeah, it sucks. Just putting it plainly, it sucks. But you have to realize that you're worth more than that. And someday your prince will come. You know that song, someday my prince will come. Someday he'll come. And if he doesn't, oh well, girl, move on. You, go live your life. Go on a cruise. Go to Italy. Go to, go somewhere and just live your life, because there's more to life than men. And most of the time, they're boys, let's be honest, because boys don't understand our feelings, and boys are very complicated and immature. So, yeah, there's my little rant on that situation. The other thing we're going to talk about is God's love. So, as most of you all know, or you'll come to know, I'm a Christian, and my grandma brought me to church when I was little, and if my grandma didn't bring me to church, I would not have been raised, I was not raised in a Christian household, and I probably wouldn't have been a Christian if it wasn't for my grandma, and so I forever will thank my grandma for that. But I have been on the struggle bus with my relationship with God lately, and it's really hard, especially after my grandma died. It was really hard to trust in him and not want to be mad at him. I've been that way lately, and just not wanting to have a relationship with God, and it's been a struggle for a long time, if I'm being completely honest. Like I know you're supposed to read your Bible, and I know you're supposed to pray, and I know you're supposed to like there's more than going to church. Like you have to actually like actively put in a relationship, like want to put in a relationship with God. And it has been just a struggle with me lately, and just knowing that God is really there for me. I know that God wouldn't put me through all this stuff if he didn't think that I could handle it. I cried to my therapist and I was like, when does the suffering end? But let's be honest, the suffering doesn't end until we get to heaven. I'm going to probably suffer the rest of my life until either Jesus comes back or I die. And it sucks, but that's what we have to go through in this world. You know, Jesus died on the cross for our sins so that we can be forgiven. And it says in the Bible that one day there will be no more suffering. There will be no more tears. And I am 100% ready for that. And I'm just ready to breathe and ready to not have to suffer anymore. And I just have to realize that God is a good God. And he has the best interest in me. And he has a plan for my life even when I can't see it. Like he knew my grandma was going to die, and he knew that I had to be strong and I had to move on and do what I need to do for school. And he knows, like we were talking about in the last part, like he knows when I'm going to get a husband. He knows everything that's going to happen because he is a good sovereign God, and I just have to put my trust in him and know that I'm going to be okay. Like my mantra is that you can't grow flowers without rain. And what does that mean? Is that you can't grow unless you suffer. And I know suffering sucks. Like I know a lot of people have been through a lot worse stuff than me, but like you're gonna go through suffering. Like you're gonna, like whether it's losing a family member, losing a baby, losing a job, like finding out a health like diagnosis that you never wish you would have found out. Like you're gonna go through bad things, but you just have to realize that there's a bigger plan than our suffering. And God is just waiting for you to call on him and to realize that things are gonna be okay. Like I've had to realize that I'm gonna be okay. Like I used to hate when people told me that I was gonna be okay and the situation was gonna be okay, because I didn't believe that. I was going through so much in my life that I was like, man, a lot of stuff keeps happening. Apparently this is just what I'm gonna go through for the rest of my life. But you're gonna be okay. There's gonna be a light at the end of the tunnel, and you're gonna rise above, and good things are gonna happen to you in your life. And you just have to wait and be patient and just keep fighting. That's my biggest thing, is just keep fighting, to be strong, and to realize you're never alone. There are a ton of people out there who have been through the same thing that you've been through and who are ready to talk to you about it. Don't hesitate to reach out to the people who you love. I used to push people out of my life, and it was hard for me to open up when things got tough. And I always felt like I had to be the one to be a listening ear to everyone, and I had to be the one to write people letters of encouragement and stuff like that. But it's okay to ask for help. It is one of the toughest things to have to be vulnerable and to break down and realize that you need help. But it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to be at the end of your rope and realize you can't do it all. You can't do it all. You can't fill other people's cups until you fill your own first. It's okay to take a rest. It's okay to just lay in bed the entire day. It's okay to sit in your chair and relax. It's okay to turn off your phone and not talk to anybody. It's okay to say no to things that you generally would say yes to. It's okay to do the things that you don't want to do, you know? And everything happens for a reason, and you just need to trust in God and trust in yourself that you can get through it. And and God will pull you out of everything that you're going through. So with all that being said, I'm going to end this video because it's probably like a 30-minute long video. But I am going to get back. I've been wanting to get back into filming YouTube videos, just to document my life and to talk about things that probably people need to hear, and it would help benefit because YouTube is a big platform and I want YouTube to be used for good things. And so you'll probably be seeing a lot more of me. Like I'm going to start filming my day-to-day life once I get into the education program and what it's like with that. And so yeah, you'll be seeing a lot more of me, and I hope that you all watch and like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And so thank you. Bye everyone.